Hello Brick Smarties, Brick Smarty here. So here's part 16 in my LEGO Deep Sea Creatures series. Thank you to all of you who've been waiting patiently for it. This time round we'll be looking at 8 prehistoric sea creatures that are all new MOC alternates of the LEGO 31088 Deep Sea Creatures set that use up to 5 LEGO 31088 sets for the biggest ones. This series is by far the most popular one I've posted, so I'll keep going as long as I can. The LEGO 31088 set is quite small, so the bigger models do take a few of these sets to build. This time round the MOCs come in a range of sizes, with 2 that need 2 sets to build, 2 that need 3 sets, 2 that need 4 sets, and even 2 very big models that need 5 sets to build. Coming up later in the video is a digital build for the Basilosaurus. If you want to follow along with the build, you'll need 3 LEGO 31088 sets, or come back later when you do. Before I get any further into this, I would like to thank everyone who has subscribed and for getting involved with all your comments and suggestions. Please keep them coming. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to Bricksmart Workshop so you don't miss any of my new LEGO MOCs. And a special thank you to those of you who head over to Rebrickable and buy some of my lovingly created instructions on there. And if you've got suggestions for Part 17 in the Deep Sea Creatures series, Part 3 in the Majestic Tiger series, or any of my other series, please let me know in the comments below or hit me up on Instagram and get sneak peeks of what I'm working on right now. So, the 8 new MOCs are Archelon, Leedsichthys, Cephalaspis, Livyatan Mellvilei, Anomalocaris, Megalodon XXL, Xiphactinus, and Basilosaurus. To put these creatures into some kind of context, they existed spread out over an astonishing period of time from the Anomalocaris around 530 million years ago, Cephalaspis around 400 million years ago, then Livyatan during the Jurassic, Xiphactinus and Archelon during the Cretaceous, Basilosaurus during the Eocene, and Megalodon and Livyatan that overlapped during the Miocene epoch of the Tertiary period, which came to an end about 3.5 million years ago. Okay, so starting with the Anomalocaris. This curious, unusual shrimp was one of the largest predators in the oceans of the Cambrian explosion, about 530 million years ago. Over a metre long, this beast had a segmented finned body, curled front limbs, and stalked compound eyes. So it could see well, swim fast, and grab prey with its front limbs, making it a formidable predator. I've used 2 LEGO 31088 sets to build this MOC. Building it gives us a tiny glimpse into life on Earth over 500 million years ago. It certainly does seem a bit different. Next up, over 100 million years later, is Cephalaspis. Cephalaspis, which in Latin means head shield, is an extinct armoured fish that lived in the early Devonian period, about 400 million years ago. It was a medium-sized, jawless fish that lived in freshwater rivers and streams. Being armoured on the top of its body but not below, and with a mouth opening on its underside, it would have been a bottom feeder. There are many well-preserved fossils, so its anatomy is quite well known. This interesting looking creature was requested several times when I started planning some more prehistoric sea creatures, and I was keen to include one that looks so different and doesn't require as many sets to build as some of the bigger MOCs in this series. Next, and this time over 200 million years later still, we have Livyatan. Livyatan is an extinct bony fish that lived during the middle to late Jurassic, about 165 to 155 million years ago. It is the largest known fish ever discovered. Parts of its skeleton were cartilage rather than bone, so fossilized remains are incomplete, making it difficult to know the exact size, with estimates varying wildly. It was once thought it reached lengths of over 100 feet long, but this has now been reduced to about 50 foot or 16 metres, about half the length of a blue whale, which is a mammal, not a fish, but it was still huge. This gentle giant was a filter feeder, consuming plankton through its specialised gill rakers, rather like the whale shark of today. I've used 5 LEGO 31088 Deep Sea Creatures sets to build this beast. I tried to build it with 4 sets, but I just ran out of pieces. At over 700 pieces and nearly 300 build steps, it does make for a satisfyingly large build. Next comes Xiphactinus. Xiphactinus was one of the largest bony fish of the late Cretaceous and is considered one of the fiercest creatures in the sea. This 5-metre-long monster caught fish and seabirds with its upturned jaw that was lined with giant fang-like teeth, giving it an expression like that of a bulldog. Xiphactinus was large enough to swallow a 2-metre-long fish whole, but occasionally fell prey to the shark Cretoxirina itself. Xiphactinus hunted the waters of the western interior seaway, which covered much of North America during the Cretaceous. I've used 3 LEGO 31088 Deep Sea Creatures sets to do justice to the size of this huge fish. Next up is Archelon. Archelon was a giant prehistoric sea turtle that lived in the late Cretaceous about 75 to 65 million years ago. It grew to around 4 metres in length and would have weighed about 2 metric tons. Fossils have been found in Dakota and Wyoming, so they would have lived in the shallow western interior seaway that covered most of the US at the time. Its nearest modern relative is the leatherback sea turtle, but apart from the obvious size difference, there are other significant variations. It did not have a solid bony shell. Instead, the carapace was made up of a skeletal framework with a thick leathery covering. It also had a pronounced overbite with a pointy or hooked beak. I've used 4 LEGO 31088 Deep Sea Creatures sets to create the huge shell and body. Next is Basilosaurus. The Basilosaurus, or king lizard, was in fact not a lizard or dinosaur at all and lived about 40 million years ago, well after the dinosaurs were extinct. At around 10 tons it would have been about the size of a modern humpback whale. But Basilosaurus was not a baleen whale. This prehistoric whale had teeth and would have been a fearsome apex predator in its time. Basilosaurus fossils have been found across the Middle East and North Africa, as well as some Southern American states, dating from when these regions were underwater in the prehistoric Tethys Ocean. The smaller size of its skull and brain suggests it would not have had echolocation or even herd movement. This would not have stopped it from being a very effective and successful lone predator. I've used 3 LEGO 31088 Deep Sea Creatures sets to create this MOC. Then comes Megalodon XXL. This is probably my favourite MOC I've ever created. It's the centrepiece of this series. Megalodon is such an iconic apex predator, and the 2-set version has been my most popular MOC so far. However, as I've started to build larger and larger MOCs, with more LEGO 31088 Deep Sea Creatures sets, the demand for a much bigger Megalodon model has become too great to ignore. So here it is. This alternate needs 5 LEGO 31088 Deep Sea Creatures sets to build. At 767 pieces and over 300 instruction steps, it is the biggest LEGO MOC I've created yet. Megalodon means giant tooth, and most, if not all, we know about Megalodon has been scientifically deduced from its teeth. We know it was the largest fish that ever lived, about the size of a school bus, the big yellow American type. And we know it lived from about 23 million to 2.6 million years ago, well after the dinosaurs. Its teeth were up to 7 inches long, so it's thought to have had a 10-foot wide mouth and eaten 2,500 pounds of food a day. It lived at the same time as Livyatan Mellvilei, another MOC in this series. Can you just imagine when those two cross paths? Awesome! So next we have Livyatan Mellvilei. Livyatan was a prehistoric whale that lived about 12 to 13 million years ago in the Miocene period. It could reach lengths of up to 20 metres and was similar in shape to a modern sperm whale, the main difference being that Livyatan had much bigger teeth. Livyatan is the biggest apex predator yet discovered. Megalodon also lived at the same time as Livyatan Mellvilei, but Livyatan was bigger than Megalodon and is thought likely to have hunted it, perhaps in pods, but it might not have been a one-sided battle. Megalodon may well have attacked smaller, younger Livyatan specimens. Other prey for Livyatan would likely include baleen whales, seals, dolphins, sharks, turtles, and giant squid. Livyatan Mellvilei got its name from the Leviathan in the Bible, and from Herman Melville, the author of Moby Dick. I've used 4 LEGO 31088 Deep Sea Creatures sets to create a massive toothy head and huge long body. So next up is the digital build for Basilosaurus. You'll need 3 LEGO 31088 Deep Sea Creatures sets if you want to follow along with the build. Okay, let's start the Basilosaurus build now. and that's the Basilosaurus build. I hope you enjoyed the build. Do let me know if you'd like to see any of the others. If you'd prefer to work from PDF instructions, you can buy them at rebrickable.com. Just follow the link in the comments below and head on over there and see what's on offer. Or hit me up on Instagram and get sneak peeks of what I'm working on right now. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. You made it this far, so why not give us a like or make a comment below. Click here if you'd like to see some more of the LEGO Deep Sea Creatures series, or here if you'd like to see some of my other LEGO digital creature builds. And don't forget to subscribe to Bricksmart Workshop so you don't miss any of my new MOCs.